Class 8, let's continue the chapter number 3, migration, right? Turn page number 35. So we'll start with the topic internal migration. So as I told you, internal migration is what? Internal migration refers to the movement of the people within the country or within the territory, right? So, internal migration refers to people within a country moving to another location within its border, right? Now, internal migrants can be classified into the following migration streams. Number one is rural to rural, rural to urban, urban to urban, and urban to rural. Now here are the different cases, or we can say the different several reasons for the rural to rural migration, urban to rural migrations, and urban to rural to rural migrations. So let's talk about the rural to rural migration. So rural to rural migration means it's a movement of the villagers or the village people from one village to another. Now the cases may be several, like for better opportunity, for better employment and better work, and marriage also, and for the also in slack agricultural season, a large number of villagers move out to seek casual employment, that means job, irrigation projects, constructions of roads, railroads and buildings, and other miscellaneous menial work, that means other work, right, other than these work. Now the introduction of green revolution, very important point is here, green revolution. So green revolution in 1960s, that the depressed classes, unemployed classes of Uttar Pradesh and Bihar, they had migrated towards the Punjab, Haryana and western Uttar Pradesh, right, for better opportunity and for the field work, right, as a laborers. So they all migrated in search of better economic opportunities also, we can say. Similarly, thousands of villagers have moved to plantations in Bengal and Assam as laborers. So people also started migrating towards Assam and West Bengal for plantation. So plantation means plantation of coffee, rubber, tea, right, in Assam and West Bengal. And sometimes decisions taken by the government also affect the migration pattern, and the settlement of Sikh immigrants from Pakistan in the Tarai region of Uttar Pradesh is an outstanding example of such a migration. So sometimes maybe the government order the particular community or particular area, the people of particular area, to shift from that area, right? So maybe for the maybe in that area the government wants to make tends to make some multi-purpose projects like dams or constructions of big buildings, malls, etc., right? For that the government needs what? An area, suitable area, right? So maybe in some cases the government also order for migration, right? Okay, second is rural to urban. So rural to urban means the villagers, they are moving towards the urban area. Urban area means maybe town or metro cities, right? So the rural to urban migration is caused by two factors. One is push factors, and second is pull factors. So these two factors are important. So in push factors, it includes, in push factors it includes like unemployment, then we can say low or uncertain wages, and poverty, uneconomic land holdings, poor facilities for educations, recreational activities, and other services. So these are the push factors, right? And secondly, we have, in contrast, we have pull factors. So pull factors means better opportunity, better employments, better facilities, higher wages, fixed working hours, and better amenities of living, and facilities for educations and other social and cultural work, etc., right? So these are the two factors which affect the migration of people of an area, right? In village area or in rural areas, still in India, caste system prevails, right? So that rigid caste system also become a push factor for that for the people to migrate to other advanced area or city area, right? And obviously the glamour of city area that attracts people, right? In city area, metropolitan area or metro cities, right? So next is it's written here, while the poor migrate out of economic compulsion to make out their living, the rich migrate due to their desire for better and greater comforts of life. So the poor people, they migrate to other advanced city or metropolitan city to get or to earn money, to earn their livelihood. But when we talk about why rich migrate to other metropolitan cities or other advanced cities, due to their desire for better and greater comforts of life, right? Now next is urban to urban. Why people migrate to city to city, from city to city area. Under this, people migrate from small town with less facilities to larger cities. Urban to urban migration, that means city to city, that means that the less advanced or less facility, the towns with small towns with less facilities, that the people from that less facilities town will move to the advanced and metropolitan cities, right? So the reasons are same, for better opportunity, for better employment, for better facilities and better institutions, and many more, right? Now next is urban to rural migration. So urban to rural means from city, the people is migrating from city to village area. So this is at the advanced stage of urbanization, this migration, right? So when urban centers are characterized overcrowded, right, very people or overcrowded area and high cost of living and heavy pressure on public utility services, unemployment, this could be the reason for this urban to rural migration, right? Now next is causes of migrations. As I told you, there are a variety of factors including economic, social and political factors. Number one is economic factors. So economic factors means for better opportunity, better facilities, employment, higher wages, people migrate from one place to another, right? And marriage also is one of the factor. Marriage is a very important social factor that comes in social factor of migration. In rural area, most of the girls have to migrate to their in-laws place, right, of residence after marriage. Education, rural areas by and large lack educational facilities, especially those of higher education, and rural people have to migrate to the urban centers for this purpose, to get better education, right? And many of them settle down in the cities for earning a livelihood after completion of their education, right? Lack of security also. So political disturbances and Ethnic conflicts drive people away from their homes. Large number of people have migrated out of Jammu and Kashmir and Assam during the last few years due to disturbed conditions there. So the people the people who are living in the border area, and they due to this political disturbances, they tend to migrate to other peaceful area, right? Because they do not want disturbances in their life, right? So people, they migrate to other peaceful areas. So that comes in a lack of security. So they want to secure their life, right? So for short term also, in that time, the people migrate to other area for search of better opportunities, or for recreation, or for health care facilities, also legal advices, or for availing service which the nearby towns provide. For so not for a long term basis or permanently, the people also migrate for a short term, right? Temporarily. Now next is impact of migration. So migration affects both the areas of origin of migration as well as the areas of destination of the migrant population. First one is demographic consequences. So migration leads to unbalanced demographic distribution of population within the country. So the area from where the people are migrating, that is going to affect, and also the people when they reach their destinations and that area, so that area is also going to affect, right? So that is a demographic consequences. So I'll give you one example. You must have heard in news that the lack of laborers, they migrated towards their hometown. They were going back to their hometowns because these days, due to this pandemic, COVID-19, that the people are not getting employment because all the industries, factories, everything is closed, right? So the people, they now, the laborers, the workers who were working in factories and other institutions, they are going back to their hometown. So this is a demographic consequences. So this makes unbalanced or unbalanced demographic distribution of population, right? For both the recipient also, and from where the people are migrating, right? In that area also, and to that recipient state or a place also, right? So now next is social consequences. Social consequences. So migration results in interaction between varied cultures and leads to their diffusion. So there is a variety of different culture people. That means it's a intermixing of what cultures, exchange of culture, right? So it has good side, but as well as it has bad side also. So bad side means when coming together of people belonging to different caste, creeds or culture, that means that leads to a cultural, that could lead to a cultural conflict also in certain cases, right? So it has good side as well as bad side also. Clear? Okay, now next is family breakdown, fragmentations of social networks, and psychosocial stress are also other negative impacts of migration, right? The emotional impact is not just limited to the migrant themselves, but to also to the family also, right? Family left behind, and especially in poorer households where the whole family cannot afford to emigrate together. They emigrate one member at one time, resulting in eroded family structures and relationships. Okay, suppose there are 5 members in a family in a village. It's a in one village family I'm talking about. So if in that 5 members, 2 are what, father, mother, and 2 sisters. Let's suppose 2 sisters and 1 younger brother. Now the elder sister, for better opportunity and for better job, she will migrate to other city or other country, right? So after few years, the second one will also migrate to other country or city for a better job and opportunity. And the same the third one, younger one, after few years he'll also migrate to other. So that means what? Only 2 members are left in that family. So that is what? That is a fragmentation of family. Fragmentation means breakdown of family. And it's not sure that whether the 3 other younger members will come to their hometown or not, right? So this is also a negative impact of migration. Clear? Okay, now next is, so due to this migrations, the recipient area or recipient country or a state, in that the population is more. So more population means it's putting enormous pressure on the available resources. Clear? So this is also a negative impact of migrations. So due to overpouring of people, the older cities like Mumbai, Kanpur, Delhi faces a lot of problem of housing also, leading to people living in slum area. Clear? Okay, now next is economic consequences. Now next is economic consequences. So it has migration has great impact on the economy also of that country or that place. So migration of people, just as international trade, international business, has a direct impact on both the sending country as well as the receiving country. Sending country and receiving country, right? The receiving country gains as immigrations increases the supply of labor. Receiving, we are talking about receiving country will have what? More supply of labor, which increases employment and productions, and thus national income will be increased, right? Second, adverse impacts of immigrations include loss of jobs for the locals, for the local people. There will be no jobs because that is taken by other workers or other people, right, who have been migrated to that area. And heavy burden on a natural resources, as I told you earlier, and public services also, heavy burden on public services. And high skilled immigration, also called brain drain. As I told you, brain drain means it's a movement of high skilled and educated people from one area to another. So that high skilled immigration, also called brain drain, can imply a loss of public resources for the sending country. So it's a loss for a sending country, because sending country means they are sending those high skilled and educated people to other country. So it's a great loss for that sending country. But for receiving country, it's a great it's a gain for that. It's a gain for that receiving country, right? Okay, the sending country gains through migrants as they transfer their earning to the home country in the form of foreign exchange. Now, how the sending country they will the sending country gains through the migrants, because that migrants will sometime they will come back to their country, and come back to their country, that means they transfer their earnings, whatever they are earning there, they will transfer that earning to the home country in the form of foreign exchange, right? So but the sending country loses due to reduction in skilled workforce, which is critical for productivity and economic growth. This I already told you, right? So migration affect the demography of the area and economy of the that area, and also it affect the social and culture of that place, right? So from this we come to know that the migration has both pros and cons. That means migration has both positive as well as negative impacts, right children? Okay, so here we have completed the chapter migration. Now we'll proceed with the map work, right? So the first map work is the river map of India. Okay, just buy 5 river map of India, and from the next video we'll be doing rivers of India, northern India, rivers of northern India, rivers of southern India, and perennial rivers and non-perennial rivers, and also the important ranges of India, right? So today we'll do neighboring countries and surrounding water bodies, right? So this work you'll do in map. Clear? Okay, let's start. So you all are going to buy river map. I told you 5 river map of India. In one river map you are going to fill this all water surrounding water bodies and neighboring countries. Clear children? Okay. Children, this is a river map of India. Okay, now just focus on this water bodies. Okay, eastern side, this water body is your Bay of Bengal. Western side, Arabian Sea. Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea. South of India, large water body, that is Indian Ocean. Now come to this. This is your Andaman Nicobar Island. So this is what? Andaman Sea. Andaman Sea, Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea, Indian Ocean. Okay, once again, Andaman Sea, eastern side we have Bay of Bengal, western side we have Arabian Sea. Towards south of India or south we have Indian Ocean, and the small, are you seeing the small water body here? So this small water body is Gulf of Mannar. Gulf of Mannar. Gulf Mannar. Gulf of Mannar. Now this is strait. Are you seeing this black dots here? So that is strait. 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 Palk Strait. Palk. That strait joins the Sri Lanka and with India, right? So that is Palk Strait. So this Palk Strait, Strait Strait, not Stright, right? So that strait you must have learned in class 6 and 7th, right? So you better know what is strait, Strait, strait. Clear? Now come to the neighboring countries. The purple one, shaded, this purple shaded color is Myanmar, and earlier it was known by Burma. So this is Myanmar, new name. Yellow small patch here, this is Bhutan. Clear? Orange one, Nepal. This blue, China. Here's Tibet, Pakistan, then Afghanistan. Now come to this Sri Lanka. This yellow small one is Sri Lanka. Is that clear? So this is what you are going to fill in your map. This is your map work. Children, two more important water bodies are there. This one, the small water body, this is your Gulf of Kutch. What? Gulf of Kutch. Now see this small water body, this is your Gulf of Khambat. Gulf of Khambat. Clear? Okay. Okay children, let's have a quick revise of these water bodies. Number one, Gulf of Gulf of Kutch, Gulf of Khambat, Gulf of Mannar. Yes, Andaman Sea. This is Andaman Sea, Bay of Bengal, Arabian Sea, and Indian Ocean. Very good. Okay. That's all for the day, children. I hope you have enjoyed the map work of today, and please buy 5 river map of India so that we can smoothly do this map work, right? And this work you are going to do, and you need to know about the strait, S-T-R-A-I-T, strait, and the differentiate between strait and isthmus. And also I want you to name other straits around the world, right? Can you do that? Okay. Okay, that's all for the day, children. Be safe, stay safe, be healthy, wealthy, and stay happy, right? Okay, till then, bye-bye.